I'm Andy Schmuckler. I often call myself a man on a mission in these videos. For the present purposes, let me just describe my mission as wanting to provide a integrated way of understanding the human situation. Uh, as I've indicated in previous videos, I've got a platform in which I get published op-eds every week in the region where I ran for Congress back in the 2012 election as a major party nominee. In these times, that's a difficult thing to do if you want to maintain a good human connection with all the readership. It's a bruising time in our politics. So I regularly intersperse in the sequence of things that I do, things not about what divides us, but about the kinds of things that help people to recognize that someone on the other side of our divided divides is actually a human being like oneself. And so I sometimes talk about things like why it's meaningful to for many people to go to a high school reunion. And I found that created nice bridges with people who might otherwise have thought me other. And I think our common humanity is important to remember. And I'm about to read to you about my deep interest in movie stars, which is the name of the piece that's going to be running this week on the platforms that I've got out there. And so without further ado, let me read about my deep interest in movie stars. My friends aren't surprised that when I was running for Congress, I read multiple biographies of great leaders like Abraham Lincoln, Winston Churchill, and FDR. But they are surprised when they learn that I am deeply interested, too, in the lives of movie stars, and that, as a result, I've read biographies of people like Cary Grant, John Wayne, the two Hepburns, Catherine and Audrey, and a number of others. They find it surprising that I, whom they see as a serious intellectual, have a kind of People magazine interest in knowing more about the actors who play roles in movies that matter to me. So why do I? Surely it starts with my love of movies, the love of those stories made so impactful by their combining many forms of artistry, storytelling, cinematography, music, is part of my family culture. As a child, my mother, an aspiring actress, went regularly to the cinema to watch the silent films of those years. When I was a child, one of my favorite things to do with my mother was watching and discussing movies together. But never have movies played so important a role in my life as in recent years. For two reasons. First, my full-time focus on the ugly and dangerous developments in the real world has made me need regular breaks from that darkness. Movies provide other worlds. Second, having a DVR allows me to use movies like books to be picked up and put down as the mood dictates. The magic of the movies makes the movie stars magical as well. The magic being the special kinds of experience good movies give. That more than mundane, bigger than life quality is magnified still further by the movie stars themselves having special qualities. They tend to be the most beautiful of human specimens, whether male, like Burt Lancaster, or female, like Maureen O'Hara. And they usually have some special presence that radiates from them, like Denzel Washington. The best performers convey some version of the human within them more powerfully than what most people we encounter in our actual world will show us. Except not really. They are actors, after all. Watching Maurice Chevalier with all his joie de vivre in 1959's Best Picture, Gigi, I found myself curious about whether he was so cheerful in life itself. An online bio reported that he was subject to bouts of depression throughout his life. All these elements combine to make the movie stars seem to be creatures beyond us mere mortals. The way these stars seem somehow elevated to a higher status, while also living the lives their bios narrate, helps me grasp more fully some of the realities of the human condition that is the lot of us all. A part of me has always felt, though I've always also known that it was not so, that achievement and fame somehow elevate a human to a level above the common fate. When I played authors as a kid, I imagined that the people whose faces were on the cards, Sir Walter Scott, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, etc., were somehow in a category apart from the human crowd. But of course, that's not true, as the lives of the movie stars so frequently bring home to me. A great many of those lives are really painful. Nothing about their talent and beauty and fame and wealth exempts them from unhappy marriages or drug addictions or diseases or tragedies with their children, like how the exquisitely beautiful Jean Tierney caught rubella while pregnant, with the result that her child was born with serious, lifelong disabling birth defects. All that may be obvious, but I have often been struck by how often one can be struck by the obvious. And then there's time, our temporariness. Nothing brings that so clearly into focus for me as the movies. In some ways, movies are timeless. They present these stars so vibrant and immediate, right before our eyes, never changing. But when we watch a sequence of their films, we also see them swept along by the force of time, from youthful to changed by age. Watching John Wayne from Stagecoach in 1936 to The Shootist in 1976, we witness how the way of all flesh carries even a national icon inexorably along. Such a display, right before our eyes, demonstrates time's inexorable power more impactfully than what we can get from mere memory. And then at last, as these bios show, these immortals die. So, of course, do all the other people made immortal by their famous achievements, like Bach or Einstein or Michelangelo. But we don't experience such people so vividly, for their achievements we take in at a remove from the people themselves. Movie stars, by contrast, are themselves the vehicles of their achievement, standing before us in all their beauty, in dramas that engage our passions and capture forever their charisma, a presence forever present. If celebrities, seen in a People magazine way, with their sometimes messy lives, are at all like gods, they are like the Greek gods, who have all of humanity's foibles and differ from their worshippers only in being immortal. But Hollywood's gods live on only in their movies, while their real lives reveal how inescapable are the challenges of being human. Thank you. If you're interested, please check out my website, abetterhumanstory.org, and I appreciate your listening. Thanks.